Have you ever looked at new tools or equipment for your shop, but are really unsure how to justify the cost? Today we're going to be looking at my Equip Decision Framework. This is a framework that I developed over a number of years that has really helped me make sound financial decisions when buying all the equipment in my shop. So whether you're a hobbyist looking at a $100 or $300 item, or a full-fledged business looking at a $5,000 or $50,000 piece of equipment, this formula is going to make it simple for you to make smart decisions for your shop. So let's get right into it. So what does Equip stand for? Equip stands for a series of questions that I like to ask myself before I go ahead and make any purchasing decision. The E stands for you evaluate your cost savings. This is the most important thing and something that we're really going to dive into later in this video. The next one is question your space availability. Next one is utilities check. Identify new opportunities, and purchase feasibility. So is it even feasible to make a purchase? To really bring this home, I want to go over two scenarios in my shop with a small piece of equipment and a large piece of equipment that we're looking at and how we made a purchasing decision based on this framework. So the very first thing we're going to go over, and one you may be familiar with, is a Craig Foreman. So I've been using this old Craig jig, the one I think I got it in 2012 or something like that. It's an old school Craig jig and we use it about 10 hours a week. And I just found out about the Craig Foreman the other day, and I wanted to justify the cost and see if it's worth it. So the very first thing we're going to do is evaluate. And how we evaluate, and the first thing you want to do is look at your time saved per week. So the old Craig jig system we were using about 10 hours a week, 2 hours a day. With this new Foreman, after watching a ton of videos and asking around, we thought it would save us about 5 hours a week, so it's going to cut the time in half. So we were using it 10 hours. Now we're going to only use it 5, so the total time saved is 5 hours per week. So you take your 5 hours per week, you times it by 50 weeks in a year. I know there's 52 weeks in a year, but there's really only 50 working weeks in a year, and I like to look at a 1-year time frame to enable to justify cost of buying any piece of equipment that I have. So you times that out, and by getting this piece of equipment, it was going to save me 250 hours annually by getting this Craig Foreman. So the next step, we take that 250 hours that we're saving and we multiply that times an hourly rate. This is whatever hourly rate you need to be charging. If you need to charge $50 an hour, $10 an hour, if you're a pediatric anesthesiologist and you need to charge $500 an hour to justify your time, whatever your time is. For simplicity's sake, we're just going to say $25 an hour. And that's going to get us our annual amount of money that we save in a year. So by getting this, just based off the amount of time we're going to save and how much our time cost, this machine is going to save us $6,250 in a given year. So you take that money that you're saving, you minus the cost of the new tool, which the Craig Foreman was $350, and what you're looking for is a positive number. And this for sure was a massive positive number. So getting this Craig Foreman was going to save us $5,900 in a given year just based off of how much labor it's saving us. So that's a positive number. I personally like 3x to 10x the cost of the equipment the best. So $3,500 would be 10x the cost of the equipment. That means this equipment is really going to pay itself off really quickly. So once we have that, we start answering the other questions. So we evaluated the cost savings, right? Does the numbers make sense? And for the Craig Foreman, they absolutely did. We're going to save $5,900 in a given year. So check. Next, do we have the space available, right? Do we have enough space? We need to bring a bigger shop. For the Craig Foreman, we have plenty of space. I got a 12,000 square foot shop. It's pretty small. So that is a check. Utilities check. Do we need any fume extraction, dust collection, any kind of stuff like that? And for us, all we needed was a vacuum cleaner and a 110 plug. So we were checked on utilities. Did it open up any new opportunities? And so why I like to throw this in there is because each piece of equipment, whether it's just an upgrade or something a little different, a blue M&M, right, it's going to a lot of times open up new opportunities. And since I always want to be growing, I always want new opportunities to be open. So now we can maybe make more stuff with a pocket hole jig, or we have more time to do other stuff in the shop because we have that extra labor on hand now. So yes, it did open up new opportunities. And the last thing, purchase feasibility. Can I afford it? Yes. For us, it was only $350 bucks. It was an easy buying decision. We put it on the credit card, ordered off Amazon, and boom, bam. So for this that scenario with the Craig Foreman, it was an easy buying decision. We made the purchase. So if you like any of this so far, don't forget to subscribe. And there will be a link in the description that's going to have a PDF with all the notes from this whole entire thing and some examples, because I know this is a lot to take in. So check the link in the description to get your free PDF. Now let's go over another scenario with a much larger piece of equipment. So a lot of y'all don't know this, but I own a cooler company called Frio Coolers, and we engrave a ton of cups on our lasers. And so we use a laser currently right now, and we run it 20 hours a week just engraving cups. So we're looking at this other super amazing laser, and that laser was so awesome, it can do it in a quarter of the time. And so that thing, we're currently running our laser 20 hours a week, and the new laser was able to do it in 5 hours, which is crazy fast. So this new laser was going to save us 15 hours a week. And right now we're on the evaluation phase of this new laser my company was just looking at, right? And so all good, right? It's going to save us 15 hours a week. We're going to times that by 50 weeks in a year, and that's going to save us 750 working hours in a given year. Sounds awesome, right? Great. So now we're going to take the 750 hours times our hourly rate of $25, and that's going to give us $18,750 in a given year in total savings, which is absolutely crazy, right? And that's the pitch that the equipment guy gave to me, like, look how much money you can save, right? Well, the problem was when we took our annual dollars saved and we minused out the cost of the machine, we were losing upwards of $50,000 in a given year if we bought this machine, because we just couldn't justify it. So right away, let's go flip back to my other page here. Right away, the numbers didn't make sense. Even if we had the space, even if we had the utilities, it definitely opened up new opportunities for us. And maybe it was feasible, maybe it wasn't. I never even got that far. But we could not make the numbers make sense, so we never made this purchase. And that is a good example of a bigger piece of equipment. So what if you find yourself in the scenario where it's a brand new piece of equipment that you've never ever used before, right? Like, let's say you're looking at getting a CNC or a laser or a UV printer, right? What happens if you have that kind of situation? It's not really an upgrade, it's a totally different thing. Well, I consider that more of a risk because you don't have a known use amount. And there's a couple things that I've done throughout the years to kind of de-risk myself when I'm making one of those buying decisions. So the first thing you can do is try to make the product using other tools, right? I mean, instead of using a CNC, use some templates, use a scroll saw, use something else just so you can justify it, right? So you have something coming in, you're generating some kind of sales. That way, when you go to your spouse or go to the bank or something like that, you can say, hey, look, I have 20 orders coming in for this thing. This piece of equipment, you show them our formula and our framework. This piece of equipment is going to save me $5,000. Therefore, it's a good buy, right? So that's the very first and best way to do it. Just use what you got. It's okay. You don't need all the cool stuff. Next thing, take pre-orders. That's pretty simple. Try to take pre-orders. You know, you want to sell 100 of these things before you ever get the machine. That way you can pay for the down deposit of the machine or the machine itself. Next thing, get somebody else to make it. There's lots of people out there with all this kind of equipment. You're not going to be the only one that has it. So reach out to them, see if they can make some prototypes for you, see if you can generate demand before you actually go out and buy that machine, because that machine is a little risky. And once again, I'm not saying never take a risk. I'm just saying you want to de-risk yourself, and this is how I've done it. The last thing is have a plan B or a plan C or a plan D. You're going to need all of those plans because it's not going to go the way you think, so you're going to have to pivot and be nimble and be able to use that piece of equipment for other things. Most likely. Sometimes it works. Most of the times I've had multiple different plans that I had to go through. So guys, this is my whole entire framework. I hope this helps you make smart buying decisions. Remember, there is a link in the description for a PDF that goes over all of this. And as always, guys, remember, if you ain't cutting it close, you ain't cutting it right. Much better.